Okay, buckle up for a semi-serious video, but don't worry, I'll sprinkle in some comedy bits so you don't end up crying into your ice cream. Now, let me take you back to a time when I was just a little chunky and thought, I probably should shed a few pounds. Little did I know it would turn into a full-blown obsession to make me hate my body. I mean, I wasn't even that big, but I felt like a bloated pig, so I did some research and tried calorie counting, chugging copious amounts of water as if I was a fish, and chewing each bite for eternity. I swear it took me longer to eat one meal than it did to watch an entire movie. Too frigging long. So, I decided to go on a diet, but my progress was slower than a snail on a treadmill. So I thought, screw it, I'll just starve myself. I cut my intake to a measly 800 calories a day, which is basically just 3.5 donuts or 8 apples. And let's be real, I wasn't even hitting that mark most days. I even found an old diet plan that had me surviving on a paltry 500 calories a day. Like, what was I thinking? No wonder I was miserable. I was missing out on all the good stuff like butter and mayo, and my portions were so tiny, it was like I was feeding a family of ants. Good one, brain. Real smart. Guilt. It's like my own personal stalker, following me around and making me feel bad for the tiniest things. Like, come on, guilt, I just want a damn cookie. But no, I couldn't even enjoy a piece of cake on my birthday without worrying about gaining weight. It's not that I didn't love food. I mean, who doesn't? But my brain was like a twisted game show host, constantly telling me I had to be skinny, no matter what. And let me tell you, watching other people eat while I sipped on water and self-loathed was not a fun time. And then, even when I finally reached my ideal weight, I still wasn't satisfied. It was like my brain had a funhouse mirror that made me see myself as bigger than I really was. So, I was always trying to get even skinnier, which meant even more self-hatred and extreme measures. It's like my brain was on a never-ending diet and I was just along for the ride. I know I shouldn't admit this, but I was so focused on who was the skinniest of my sisters, I couldn't even think straight. My mum was like, hey, you don't want to be the chubby one, do you? But let's be real, I was probably the lightest one at that point, and when we went camping, I couldn't even hug my sister because I was afraid her weight would rub off on me. Yeah, I know it's ridiculous. I love my sisters, but why did I have to think like a deranged duck? The little devil on my shoulder was really getting to me. I started avoiding all social situations and just stayed in my tent, pretending to be asleep. I basically became a hermit crab, except with less energy and no cute shell to hide in. Okay, so I had a little voice in my head, and it was like a tiny, annoying roommate who was constantly nagging me about my eating habits. And let me tell you, I listened to that voice a little too much. I mean, I gave up on everything, my social life, my hobbies, even my energy to get out of bed. I was basically a hermit, and not the cute kind that lives in a cozy cave with a bunch of cats. No, I was the kind that ate alone and stayed in bed all day. At school, I had no close friends left, because I didn't want to get close to anyone. I mean, I still talked with people and played blackjack in the lunchroom, when I couldn't go up to the art classroom to avoid all human interaction, but that's about it. I even stopped inviting people over to my house because my mind was so focused on food that I couldn't enjoy their company. And let's be real, nobody wants to hang out with a friend who's constantly counting calories in their head. Trust me, it doesn't go over well. I went to my friend's house and it didn't go well. Maybe that's why I shut myself off too. So I'm at my friend B's house and her mum innocently asks what we want for lunch. My heart starts racing, and my mind goes into overdrive. What can I eat that won't make me feel guilty? My eyes dart to B, hoping she'll ask for something healthy, but nope. She goes for a sandwich, 2 jam donuts, crisps, and fizzy pop, and for her that's just a regular lunch. Meanwhile, I'm over here trying to survive on 500 calories a day, and feeling like a ton of bricks just landed on my plate. And to top it off, I'd already eaten breakfast. Oh, the struggles of having an eating disorder. The fact that I can still remember what I ate back then is crazy. I find it difficult to remember nowadays. Anyways, there was this one time I slept over at my friend's house after not talking to her for like a year, and as if that wasn't awkward enough, her mum walked in while we were changing for bed, and instead of saying something normal like, "Hey, how have you been?" she just looked at me and said, "Ah, did you do it?" Ah, did you do it? And there I was, standing in my underwear, feeling ashamed and embarrassed of my body. My immediate thought was, I starved myself, but of course I didn't say that out loud. Instead, I panicked and looked around the room as if the secrets of the universe were suddenly going to reveal themselves to me. Spoiler alert, they didn't. I should have come up with a witty response like, oh, you know, just a strict diet of air and water. But nope, I froze like a deer in headlights and stared off into space. Meanwhile, my friend was probably regretting ever inviting me over. Her mum leaves the room and she's left to deal with the awkward silence. She finally breaks it by saying, she didn't mean it in a bad way. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. But, like, what does she mean by bad way? Like, come on, lady, do you really want to know the truth? Because it's not pretty. And I'm pretty sure you're not ready for that conversation. So let's just stick with the awkward silence, shall we? During this predicament in my life, my family and I went on holiday abroad, as per usual. Every October we would escape for a couple of weeks during Halloween season. So there I was, on vacation with my family, trying to enjoy some much needed rest and relaxation. But when you have an eating disorder, eating out is like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It just doesn't work. I was constantly stressing about what I was going to eat and if I was going to gain weight. I even resorted to ordering starters for dinner and surviving on an apple for breakfast. Talk about a sad life. But the real kicker was when I ordered a tomato soup, fully expecting it to be hot and comforting like a nice hug, but nope, it was colder than a frosty glass of milk. I guess that's just the universe's way of saying, hey, you chose this life, deal with it. And of course my family noticed. I mean, how could they not? I was basically a walking skeleton. They were probably much more worried about me than the time I dyed my hair pink. Much more. But hey, at least I gave them something to talk about, right? But when we got back home, I realised I couldn't keep living like this. So I did the unthinkable. I ate an entire tray of lasagna to myself. And let me tell you, it was glorious. Garfield would have been proud. That was the turning point for me. The start of my journey to recovery, and let me tell you, it was a bumpy road. There were binges, weight gains, and weight losses. Basically, my weight was on a roller coaster ride, while I held on for dear life. But I'm happy to say that I've come out on the other side. I still have to be careful and make sure I don't fall back into my old habits, but I'm doing much better now. I'm not going to tell you how much I weighed at my lowest point because it's not something I'm proud of. Let's just say I was on the brink of becoming a permanent resident of the underworld. But hey, I'm still here living my best life. Woo! And eating all the lasagna I want. Please don't do what I did, it's a really bad idea. And I know people can't help it, but if you need help, get some help. Anyways, have you checked out my website yet? It's got all kinds of goodies for sale, like stickers, bookmarks, and commissions. Oh, and don't forget to take a peek at my children's book, Super Poppy. And if you're feeling extra generous, hit that subscribe, share, and like button. Thank you. I promise I won't judge you for being a fan.